Let's begin the conversation. I think Jeff Passan nailed it. It's simple. Devers wanted out, and San Francisco was willing to take the contract. Rafael Devers gave the Red Sox the excuse, the cover, to bail out of a contract they never wanted in the first place. And that's why he's gone, the contract. And if Rafael Devers was a perfect soldier and a perfect pro and did everything right, he would not have provided the Red Sox the cover. But make no mistakes, they never wanted to sign him to the contract, and they wanted out of the contract the second they signed it. So Rafael Devers carrying on the way he carried on gave them the cover to do what they wanted to do in the first place. And the last thing I will say is that Passan's absolutely right. I was stunned. Stunned. I can't believe another team took on the contract. I can't believe the Red Sox pulled the trigger, especially after that weekend. That was, to me, a true stunner. But those are my opening thoughts. Maz, what are yours?
Money dump. It was a money dump, plain and simple. End of story. And I'm saying this because I've heard from so many people in the last, 18 hours or whatever it is, saying to me, oh, good riddance, I'm glad he's gone, bad attitude, they had to get rid of him, he was a poison. I've heard that. I've heard people say they're cheaping out. I'm more on that side of it. It was a salary dump. That's what it was. They got rid of the contract and they got under the luxury tax. They're doing cartwheels over there. And I've heard people say, well, they didn't get enough back.
They don't care.
They don't care. All they wanted to do was dump the contract. That's it. You get a choice in those kinds of deals. You can either dump the contract or eat some of the money and get something back. They chose the first part. They wanted to get rid of the player and the contract. And in this case, to me, it was in the other order.
Yeah,
it was the contract and the player.
Yeah, well, let me ask you, Maz. If Rafael Devers carried on the exact same, everything existed the way it's existed, the way he's carried on and the way he's carried himself, but he was making $8 million a year instead of $28.
Still be here.
Just ask yourself that question.
Good value, he'd still be here.
It's not even close.
They would tell him, put up with it.
You bet.
Yeah, it's a contract they almost immediately regretted, especially with his piss-poor attitude. So just the player in a nutshell, I'm one of these people, Maz. Good riddance. He's an obstinate pig. The thing that doesn't make sense, though, if you're going to make that argument, well, now the clubhouse is going to be better. Is it? Was the manager on board with this? Because it felt like the clandestine way they went about it, especially after the sweep of the Yankees, is I don't think Alex Cora saw this coming. So what's his attitude going to be? So if you're trying to clean out the clubhouse, shouldn't he be gone too? That's the part that makes no sense. If it's about clubhouse culture, well, send the manager to San Francisco as well. So that part I don't get. But overall, I'm glad he's gone. I just hate the return, and it is a salary dump.
Well, so are we for it or against it?
In the short term, I'm against it.
I'm for it.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't want to give the team credit.
No, me either.
So this is you're going to hear a lot of different, you're going to hear the same tone, but I think he got what he deserved. I don't support players that carry on like that in any sport. The talented pain in the ass,
So do you support big market teams that dump money?
Right, so I don't. But
okay, you got to pick one.
No.
Yeah.
No,
you got to pick a side. In this case, you got to stand for one or the other. You have to put one above the other. That's what just happened here.
I support the move, but I don't support the Red Sox. So I know, Maz. I know. I want to have my cake and eat it too.
Oh, you are such a wuss.
I'm a wuss. I'm a weasel.
You wuss.
I support the move. I'm glad he's gone. It's a player that if I were a Red Sox fan, I'd find hard to root for. I'll also say that I don't think they're out of it by any means. They can be one game over with Rafael Devers, and they can be one game over 500 without Rafael Devers. So I don't think the season's lost by a long shot. And he's been hitting great, and they've been a middling team. So they could take that bat out of the lineup and still be a middling team, if not better. So I'm not willing to rule that out. I think that whole thing has hung over the team's head from day one, has gotten in the way. If you remove it, and there's a whole different energy there, I think there's a chance for better results. So I'm glad he got what he had coming. I like sort of the nature of the move. F out of here. You won't pick up a glove? F out of here. I'm in favor of that. I don't think they're going to be any worse. They might even be better somehow. It tends to happen that way. They did it for money, and I don't support that. So I don't know. So
if they ate some of the money and got a real player back, I think it'd be an easier pill for people to swallow. Like the other thing too is I don't want this guy, poisoning the well of these young impressionable players like Meyer and players like that and Roman Anthony. Like you don't want him around for that. But that it's just a salary dump, and what they got back is like, wait, who? Sucky pitchers and prospects. Like you could have done better.
So again, this is the part I can't get by. Nobody likes the way Devers acts. Who could possibly like that? Most of us believe in the team concept.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of people, Mazz, who think that he got done wrong by the team and was justified in his. I mean, there are some.
Okay, so again, and I'm not going that far either. Like I think he's been a colossal pain in the ass. Yeah, baseball has pains in the asses, and if they hit, you deal with it. That's what you do. You deal with it because at the end of the day, it's about winning. That's what it's about. And he's a good player, so you tolerate it. You just said it. The reason they moved him was the contract.
It's a contract.
It's the money. I just can't stand behind that.
And his behavior.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
and
go.
because the team has been underachieving to this point, they saw it as an opportunity to get under the luxury tax. I cannot stand behind that. I cannot. I don't like Devers any more than anybody else. I don't like the attitude. I don't like the stubbornness. I don't like any of that. So the team just, what, because he was difficult, they took it personally, and they had to ship his ass out of here?
That's their excuse.
Right? That's what it is. And if people buy that, you're more full of crap than they are.
Devers gave him the excuse. Devers gave him the opening. He asked to be traded. They must have been doing back. Really? And every time he acted like the a-hole, they probably said to themselves, this helps us. Because when we do ship his ass out, there's going to be a segment of fans that are with us. It won't be 100% against us. I don't know what the percentages are, but there are many fans because it's hard to get behind a selfish, non-team first player. I don't think Rafael Devers is a winning ball player. I don't. I know he was here in 18 when they won, but just any more than I thought Manny Ramirez was a winning ball player. It's about what he was surrounded by. The talent, I acknowledge. So I can't get behind Devers. That's not why the team traded him. The team is going to use it as an excuse to trade him. And that I can't be behind. So, I guess I'm on both sides of the fence on that.
That excuse is an easier sell if they just waited a little bit. What really is tough for this?
Well, can I just stop you? Well, good. The waiting thing, I think people are missing this too. If they had waited, they would have gotten a better deal.
No. Not just the optics of post-Yankee sweep. You're 8-2 in your last 10. Now they get some wind in their sails. People are actually feeling the team. And you do this like an hour after you sweep the Yankees?
I'm fascinated by the timing. Which, just put a pin in that. Don't let me forget that. But for the folks that say if they had waited, they would have gotten a better offer. Not in their minds. In their minds, the perfect offer was a team that was willing to take on the full contract.
Correct.
And they don't care. I'm not even going to mention. I forgot their names already. I'm not going to remember. I don't care. They don't care what they got back. That's window dressing. They wanted someone to take on the full contract. That to them's a good offer. That's all they cared about was getting out of the contract. So they don't care about the prospect return. That Breslow probably wanted the player out of his face because the player was not just disrespectful or obstinate. He was
insubordinate.
Insubordinate. Thank you, Mazz. Okay, was rankly insubordinate. So the GM takes a person, F out of my face. Now it's not his money. All the owner cares about is the money. So Breslow made John Henry happy here.
Definitely.
Someone took on every dime. We didn't have to swallow any money. Yeah, I don't care what a bag of baseballs for batting practice. They would have taken that. So in their mind, they don't. There was no better offer than this. Now the timing. The timing's interesting to me, especially that visual. I'm sure you've seen the clip of him
getting out of a cab.
Getting out of the cab at Fenway Park. Like, what the hell? So I wonder, why last night they were loading onto the team plane. They pulled him off the team. Was he actually sitting on the charter and they pulled him off?
So that I don't know.
Okay, it was something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was something like that is right.
They were loading onto the team charter.
Oh, yeah.
And would they fly out of Logan or Hanscom?
It depends, but it could be either.
No cabs at Hanscom. I don't know. What happened there?
So my guess is the thing came together really fast.
They didn't even get him a car service.
It's unbelievable.
No, they
Getting
didn't.
a cab.
Okay, so came together real fast, or like, and we have no. But
It's the final FU. I mean, the optics of it is like, FU, you're out. And by the way, FU, take a cab.
I mean, but think about it. Let's say they were close to a deal on Friday. Would he have played all weekend?
right, and wasn't the dude that they traded for, was he supposed to pitch last
Yes,
night?
correct, and he was pulled.
So what happened?
I think it came together at the last second.
Exactly. What does that mean?
I think that San Francisco probably put heat because the Giants are in it. I think they probably put heat on the Red Sox to do it. They said, we're ready to act now. Let's do it now. It's the end of a series. The only thing I'm surprised is that they pulled them off the plane because they're going to be in San Francisco over the weekend anyway. They're going out to the West Coast.
So, like, someone finally said, one of the two sides said, 8 p.m. deadline on Sunday.
Yeah.
And the offer's off the table. Possible. Is it possible Rafael Devers told someone to go F themselves and someone with the Red Sox said, no, F you, Craig, get San Fran on the phone, pull the deal.
Sure.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that optic of him coming out of the cab. Like, what the hell? Yes, Jimmy.
I think San Francisco on Saturday night upped their offer to the Red Sox for Devers, and that's why John Henry was in the building at Fenway Park yesterday so that Breslow, Kennedy, and John Henry could have a conversation. Do we really want to do this? And it all came together after the team had left the ballpark for the airport.
Or maybe they were afraid they were going to keep winning and then they weren't going to be able to move them.
I mean, so, like, you can say it's a bad time to move him, Murray. Maybe they thought it was a good time. I don't know. The timing to me is fascinating. They let him play the whole game. So it came down between, 5 o'clock and 7?
It was between 5 and 7, yeah.
Something like that.
But not before. So San Fran had that pitcher on the card all day, and the Rafael Devers played the entire game. And at 5 o'clock, they said, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just and then,
Something like that.
And then it's like, no, Rafi, the cab stands over there. We're not even going to drive you back to the park. Was there an FU? Like, I don't know. I just
No, the FU thing, again, they clearly took it personally when he acted the way he did.
I mean, Henry was there. So did Henry finally just say, that's it? Pull the trigger.
Yes, something like that. I think that they went down something. Remember, 3 days ago, Sam Kennedy is telling the world that Rafael Devers is going to be there when we need him. And
God.
then 3 days later, he's gone. And now, so what, Sam? You were just lying? Like you're being a complete ass about it, or
That's
what?
on brand for him.
So, like to me, my guess is it did come down quickly, or at least got finalized quickly. I would even argue the thing came together quickly because he was playing over the weekend.
Can I support the move but not support the Red Sox?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes, I
no,
want to. I can.
No.
I can.
Not real in your fantasy world, maybe.
In Felgerland, I support the move. I don't support the team. I don't support why they did it.
Yeah, I want the Pats to be good, but I don't want them to get any players. Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, good luck.
I'm not sure if that's a fair comp, but I know
It's
what you're
not.
saying. I get it. F Devers. I don't support guys like that. Like in any sport, in any context.
They felt like that about Manny Ramirez for 8 years. 8 years. And they held on to him the whole time.
Well, no, they waived him every year. Remember?
Okay, yeah.
They kept trying to get rid of him too.
Right. But again, knowing that no one would take him. Okay, so they played the charade and they kept Manny and they won a lot of games to get rid of a guy like this. And look, again, in the long run, they may come out better. I acknowledge that. They might. Bad message in the short term, especially with their history.
The timing could have been as simply that the Giants at 5:30 Eastern said, all right, we'll take the whole contract. And then the Red Sox, do it now,
Get him off the plane.
Do it now. They're taking the whole contract, done. That's all they wanted. And maybe that's what happened there.